Okay. Ms. Bensouda, the situation is getting worse by the day in Nigeria, in neighboring countries as well. Are you also very worried about what you're seeing and what you're hearing from there?
Yes, indeed, I'm very much concerned about the violence that has been taking place in Nigeria. As you probably know, Nigeria is currently under preliminary examinations. And within the context of that preliminary examinations, I have just sent a mission to Nigeria just prior to the elections to put them on notice about any violence that could happen, especially when it's crimes that could fall within the jurisdiction of the court. I've also made a declaration just 2 days ago calling on all those parties who have already committed themselves to not commit violence before and after the elections to stick to that commitment. I urge them to stick to that commitment because my office will be looking closely at what is happening before, during, and after the elections. And I do hope that nothing serious that would require the intervention of the ICC will happen.
But from what we're seeing, there are reports of mass crimes happening in Nigeria. I mean, what is your assessment? I know it's a preliminary probe, but from what you're seeing, what do you think is happening right now in Nigeria?
Well, if you are talking in respect to the crimes that are committed by Boko Haram, the alleged crimes committed by Boko Haram, if that is what you are referring to specifically, well, my office, Nigeria being under preliminary examination, I have the mandate to look at any and all crimes that could potentially fall within the jurisdiction of the ICC. War crimes, crimes against humanity, or genocide. And we are looking at this closely. As I have informed you, I've just sent a mission to Nigeria. We are collecting information, and we are doing our assessment of this at the moment. It is under preliminary examination. I have to, at the end of the preliminary examination, make a determination whether to open investigations into the situation or not. But I've not got to that stage yet.
Do you know when? Is there a deadline?
There is no timeline for preliminary examinations as such. It all depends on the facts and circumstances. At the moment, we are collecting information and we are assessing that information. And a determination will only be made at a later stage.
Are you also looking into possible violations by the Nigerian security forces and the military, because there have been reports of potential crimes by them as well?
I was very clear in my declaration that I made to the Nigerian authorities that we are putting everybody on notice. Everybody who's concerned in these elections and their followers, we are putting everybody on notice that they should avoid for crimes that fall within the jurisdiction of the ICC to be committed. As you have seen, they have already entered into some form of an agreement, a commitment that this will be avoided. And I am not doubtful that this will be respected. I do sincerely hope that this will be respected.
I want to get to the situation in the Central African Republic. This is a little bit of a forgotten crisis now. Are you still looking into it very seriously, and do you believe the situation there is still very worrying?
The situation is still very worrying. You said that it is forgotten, but certainly not by my office. At the moment, I have sent already investigation teams. As you know, I've already announced that we are opening investigations in Central African Republic. And these investigations will concern both sides, the anti-Balaka and the Seleka. So I have 2 investigations teams on the ground, and we have started collecting information. And we will be looking at that, because now it's investigations. It's no longer preliminary examination. So we are actually investigating and collecting evidence for that matter.
So you expect to bring a few cases before the court or have arrest warrants in that situation?
Indeed, indeed. My plan, the plan of my office, of course, is to have this information, this evidence, and once I am satisfied that it is evidence good enough for me to go to the chamber to request for arrest warrants, this will be done.
I want to get to the situation of Palestine as well. The court has been accused by many, especially on the continent, of just dealing with African crises. Could this be a new chapter for the ICC?
It is definitely a new chapter for the ICC, but I just want to be clear that because the ICC is being criticized that it is only in Africa, it's not the reason why we are opening preliminary examination in Palestine. I want this to be clear. Once the criteria, the legal criteria, factually and legally is met for me to exercise jurisdiction in any situation, no matter where it is, whether it is in the continent or outside the continent, my office will proceed to do that. And this is one of those situations where we now consider that the declaration that has been lodged by Palestine at the beginning of this year is now a valid declaration to warrant the intervention of my office. And this is, as a consequence, I have decided to open preliminary examinations into the situation in Palestine.
Last question on the Kenyan case. Do you think this was a major blow for the ICC, or do you think the court will be able to learn from that example?
I do not believe it is a major blow for the ICC. I believe it is a sad day, and I've said it, a dark day for the victims of the crimes that were alleged to have been committed, because for now, justice and accountability have been denied. And this is what I mean when I say it's a sad day. International criminal justice is made to work this way. The ICC was set up to do investigations, to do prosecutions, but the states themselves have an obligation under the Rome Statute to be able to support the work of the ICC, whether it is in terms of support for witnesses or execution of warrants or for financial support. Those who are part of the ICC have this obligation. And I think we need to look into this very carefully and take it very seriously, because this institution was created by states. And states should support the institution for it to be effective. If this doesn't happen, the ICC will have problems. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.